Hi, Cammie. There you go. Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I was trying to do it on my other computer and it wasn't working. So we're good now.
Shoot. Okay. I've got the Facebook feed up. So if anybody wants to view us on Facebook.
Yeah, super exciting, huh?
How are things going for you with work?
They're all right. I mean, nothing. I'm not too busy, but yeah. You know what's funny is on this school board meeting agenda,
Yeah.
it says Dr. Steve Harasi is superintendent.
Where?
The board book.
Oh, God. Did Kristen? Oh my gosh. You are.
She went back into the day to get that one.
To the old archives.
Yeah.
Hey, I saw your son's cute video for student body. That was fun.
Yeah.
There's
there's so many kids running, so we'll see how it all works out. I think they vote tomorrow.
Is that okay? That's fun. So
I think because the kids didn't have to get up on stage in front of the student body, then so many more ran.
Right.
Because they just had to do a video, which isn't bad. It's just there's a lot of kids running.
Right.
And a lot of his friends are running, which I say is not good because then they take your votes, you know?
Right.
So it'll be fun.
All right. Well, it looks like we've got subscribers to our YouTube channel, so we'll keep it all professional moving on.
Nice. And I will turn the time over to you for the administrative appointment then. And then on that SP 953, is that a first read or we're suspending the rules on that one?
It's up to you. Richard will present it and then he will ask if you guys, we can do it as a suspension. It's really just to cover us so that we can cover our ESPs. That's what they needed. The USBE said we all needed one of those so that it covers everything. We're fine. If you guys want to take it and do it next week, we're fine too. Hi, Dave. Oh, he's connecting to his audio.
Excuse me. I have had a bad cough, but I've had it for like almost 2 weeks.
Okay, so it's not the.
Yeah, it's not the bug because I've left my house maybe 6-7 times to go to the grocery store.
Hi, Jared. Maybe he's not.
I can only see you, Jen. Why do I not?
Can you go up on your pane and there's like, it looks like 9 little dots, like kind of almost like a Rubik's Cube up there. Hello, Jared. Hello, Dave. Hello, Elizabeth. Hello, Darren. Sorry. Not to leave you out, but we've been on a few meetings today.
Yeah, I see you a bit.
Find it, Cammie?
Now I can only see Darren, so I've got to figure this out. Normal. Oh, there you all are.
We are. Last board meeting, it was fun because we had like 71 people on. So I had like all of you were about this big on my screen.
Yeah, that was crazy. We had a lot last time, which is good.
Hey, Jared, in response to your question that you sent me today about graduation things, we got about 6 other districts that came out with things today, and they're all very similar. So
perfect. I'm sure we're not going to make everybody happy.
51%.
Yeah.
Hi, Robin. Ooh, Elizabeth's doing the virtual background.
I was trying to, but it's not working.
You have to have a green screen, otherwise you fade in and out. So, yeah.
It worked on my other meeting last night for other people. I was like, ooh, I got to try that. But no, it's not working.
So we're still waiting for Belinda and Glow as far as board members, looks like.
Hey, there's Rock.
Hi,
Hi,
Rock.
Rock.
Hey, Elizabeth, do you remember Christine Mon?
I'm not sure if I do.
She's just super sick. She's one that ran in that same group that got together in Logan.
She got the coronavirus.
She does.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
I got a coronavirus test. I'm negative.
Oh, good. But your brain's been tickled, right? Because that thing goes way
It was
there.
it wasn't pleasant.
No.
Elizabeth, why did you get it? Have you had some symptoms?
No, I did it for science.
Oh, okay.
The test Utah was having asymptomatic people come in to
Yeah.
see if you're actually positive. So that's why I did it.
Jen, is Richard joining us?
He is, and I just admitted him into the meeting, so he should
All
be
right.
on shortly. So I think we have the entire board as well as Richard and myself. We are missing from the district Assistant Superintendent Bushnell and Director Hamilton, which I know they know and they may be joining us. So sometimes it takes them a minute to go on. You look great, Glow.
I was in a rush. I was trying to do makeup.
Hey, Dave, it's good to see you. I like the tie.
All right, Richard, are we ready to go?
Are you recording, Jen, or am I?
Yes, the recording has begun. We are also on Facebook Live, and I mean YouTube Live, so it's being recorded on YouTube as well. So
Okay.
yeah, we're recording.
Okay, and we're ready then?
Yes.
All right, welcome everyone to our board meeting for September 23rd. We are doing this over Zoom. It is on also on Facebook Live, and the recording will be available on our YouTube channel. Is that correct, Jen?
Correct.
Okay, great. And we have in attendance, we have our Superintendent Covington, Board Member Belinda Johnson, Board Member Glow Merrill, Board Member Jaron Cooper, and Board Member Elizabeth Payne, and our Business Administrator Richard Reese, and other district officers or district personnel, I guess. I'm going to read our due to social well, I was going to read it, but it just came down, so just a second. Due to social distancing directions, this meeting is being held electronically. Board meeting members will participate via teleconference. The public may view the meeting on the YouTube channel, and public comments can be submitted to info@murrayschools.org by 4:45 on the meeting date. And we are going to turn the time first over to Superintendent Covington for our administrative appointment.
Great. Thank you, President Anderson. We do have another administrative appointment this evening that I'm very pleased to announce. With the retirement of Rock Boyer at the end of our current academic year, that did leave a vacancy in our Director of Support Services. It is my distinct pleasure to recommend to the board that David Roberts be appointed as the Director of Support Services with the contract beginning the July 1. I would like to say that David is currently the Director of Transportation in the Davis School District, or he has also been a director in the payroll department, and he has also worked in state school finance for the Utah State Board of Education. We feel very confident in bringing David into our family, our Murray family, and are looking forward to the things that he will bring to the many hats that he will wear as a director in the Murray City School District. So again, I would ask for consideration of the board to appoint David Roberts as the Director of Support Services in the Murray City School District.
I would move that David Roberts receive the new position because he was wonderful.
All right, and I will take a motion. Glo did the motion to approve David Roberts as the Director of Support Services. I will take a second to approve that.
I'll second that.
And then any discussion? All right, I will take a vote from the board, and remember, because of the way we're doing it, you have to state your name and then your vote. So we'll start with you, Belinda.
Belinda Johnson, yes.
Elizabeth.
Elizabeth Payne, yes.
Glo Merrill.
Glo Merrill, yes.
And Jaren.
Jaren Cooper, yes.
All right. So welcome, David Roberts, to the Murray team. We're glad to have you. Jen, has he been warned that we're going to ask him to say a few things?
He has been prepped.
All right, go ahead, Mr. Roberts.
All right, well, thank you, Superintendent Covington and President Anderson and the rest of the Murray School Board. I really appreciate this opportunity. My name is David Roberts. I have just one wife, and she is my favorite. I do have 5 children, and they all think they're my favorite too. So they do have to fight for my attention every once in a while. But I'm way excited. I've heard a lot of good things about Murray School District, recognizing that both your school board and your superintendent have very good rapport and reputation throughout the state. So I was very excited for this opportunity. I'm hoping that as I come, that I can continue the legacy that you guys have already established there, and continue that, and hopefully bring maybe some new ideas and some new things that will improve on your legacy, and make you guys even stand out even more than you currently are as an example of how to do education in the state of Utah. So any questions? No? Okay.
If I could just add, I've known, this is Richard Reese, business administrator. I've known Dave and known of Dave for decades now. He is very, very capable, very intelligent, very detail oriented, and pleasant to work with. So I'm very excited, Dave, to have you here, be part of the team, and look forward to much look forward to working with you.
Thank you, Richard. And I guess I'll have to buy you lunch after that.
Well, we'll work out something.
Congrats, David. Congratulations. And I don't know if anybody can really replace me. I'm just kidding. But you will do a great job. I've known Dave for quite a while myself over the past few years, working with him as Director of Transportation and up at the state office in payroll. So he's a great guy, bright guy, and I think he'll do a great job. And welcome, David. You'll love it here. You really will.
Thank you, Rock.
Rock, will you be thinking of him the first week of busing for the new school year?
No.
It's always fun.
And let's all hope that that's in August, right? That he has that opportunity. So.
Right.
All right, welcome to the Murray family and the Murray district. We look forward to working with you, and we will miss you, Rock, but we'll probably have some time, maybe in a couple months, to celebrate your retirement. We'll see.
And President Anderson, I did let Dave know that when he was done with his appointment, he was welcome to leave our meeting, but you're welcome to stay as well. So
Okay, thank you.
Great. Next on our agenda is you, Mr. Reese. We'll turn it over to our business administrator, Mr. Reese.
Okay. Are you going to pull up that policy or?
Yes, I will. Give me just a moment and I will get it up.
Okay. I'm sure the board members have it, but
I will pull it. I apologize. I switched a computer and forgot to pull it up and have it ready. So, just do that right now.
does the board have it in front of them in board book, or do you want to wait for Jen to pull it up?
Wait for Jen
Pull it up.
because it's difficult.
Problem. I've got it right here. It's just coming right
Okay,
now.
perfect.
All righty, here you go. Let me just share this out. Okay. Have
All right. Okay, so the reason we're discussing this policy is because we received a directive from Scott Jones, Deputy Superintendent at the USBE for Finance, who received direction from the Department of Education. This goes to our the issue of our paying employees, particularly out of federal programs, for hours that they may not be working. We're paying them the regular hours, regardless of whether we're finding work for them to do during their normal day. So we are being required to have a board policy that addresses the fact that we may be paying employees for hours that they're not worked, but that if they, for example, if somebody's scheduled to work 3.5 hours a day, they have to work, if they work an hour in, say, Title I, and then an hour as a reading para, we can't pay those 2 hours out of Title I. They have to be 1 hour out of Title I. We can't pay for work that's not within the federal program. Or if they just work solely 1 hour, then we pay them for the 3.5 hours that they would have had school been going. So this has required then, or we are being required to institute a policy, albeit perhaps temporary, that addresses these issues of being paid for time they don't work, making sure that they're paid for out of the program that they would normally have been paid for had there not been a work stoppage, and those type of things. So just ask that you would review that. It's really nothing more than that, but we are required to have a policy approved by the board, and that we have we as a district have a plan for how to deal with these situations. So we can do this as a first reading and then address this again in our normal board meeting in May, or we can, if you wish, approve or suspend the rules and approve it tonight as a second reading.
Rich, think
The
that's
policy is retroactive to the beginning of when this happened, and that is deemed to be appropriate by the Department of Ed. So this is retroactive to the date that we went to online learning. Yes.
Do you think that would it be better to get it on the books now? Do you think that's a good idea?
Honestly, I don't think it's urgent due to the fact that it's retroactive anyway.
Okay.
So if you want to have time to just review it, and if you have any questions at all, then we can ask those in the next couple of weeks or 3 weeks, whatever it is, and then and then we can just approve it in May, and I don't think there's any issues. Do you feel that there's any urgency here, Superintendent?
I don't think there is.
Okay, is there anything you'd
I don't know.
like to add?
I do know that, yeah, I don't know that there's urgency. I do know because it is retroactive. I do know that some boards I've gone through and looked, some boards have done it on a suspension, some have waited and done it on a first and second. So I think we're really okay either way with whatever the board is comfortable doing.
Right. If it weren't retroactive, I'd say, yeah, let's do it tonight, but there's no need. So take your time and review it. And if there's something there that doesn't make sense, you have questions on, just please let us know.
And Rich, we can just lump this into the consent agenda if we do it in the next board meeting, right?
Correct.
All right. Let's just do that. We'll approve it in the next board meeting. If you have any questions, reach out to Rich or Superintendent Covington in the next little while.
Okay, perfect.
Hey, Richard, I have a question. So in this, is there anything about if we end up getting any funding to reimburse us for this time, does that help our accounts or anything like that? Or is that just a totally separate thing?
It's a totally separate thing. The CARES funds that we will receive, there are certain requirements that go along with that, but that's independent. Well, that's independent of this.
That was probably a good question because Kelly would be more aware of those federal funds than, yeah, she works with that all the time.
So for example, just the CARES funds would assist us in covering costs that were a result of the school closure. For example, with tuition-based kindergarten, where we are either receiving a reduced tuition amount or no tuition, but we're still paying teachers to do the work, that may be something that might qualify to be covered with those CARES funds. There are all sorts of other ways that we could possibly use those, but it's not tied to this policy.
Right, sounds good. All right, Rich, our budget.
Okay, well, we have very few specifics, but we can just talk about some general issues. As I'm sure you're aware, the legislature held their first virtual special session last week, and those will continue likely into June with no financial decisions or budget decisions being made, most likely sometime in June. So we're, where we originally got 6% increase on the weighted pupil unit plus growth, we are now more likely, well, we have been told to plan on, number one, that this year's budget will be next year's base budget, with the possibility of perhaps an increase on the WPU somewhere in the range of what a cost of living adjustment would be, or not cost of living, but a consumer price index, a CPI would be, and that would be somewhere in the 2% range. But if the budget revenue numbers look better, it could be higher, it could be lower. We just really don't have any idea. So I don't know how that all fits in within our statutory requirements to have a preliminary budget in May and have a 10-day notification period prior to approving our budget in June, and requirement to have our budget approved by June 30th. That's all up in the air. We don't know if there will be waivers or extensions to those dates. We just don't know. So I've I've been in touch with both Mark Durfee of MEA and Thane Burnett of Classified, and they're in agreement that there's really no point in negotiating until we have the financial numbers in place. I did talk to Mark about possibly doing negotiations over whatever language issues they may have regarding policy that were non-monetary, but I haven't had any follow-up or heard any follow-up on that. I don't know if Scott Bushnell has. And the other elephant in the room as far as our budget is our insurance. And we got some updated insurance information today. Initially, our insurance renewal came in at over 23% from Select Health. They, after some haranguing from our Morton group and the actuary there, they brought it down to somewhere in the 19 range. We went out to bid and got some more aggressive bids than bids that were more aggressive than I think Select Health was anticipating. So we got best and final offers today, with Select Health coming in at an 11 point. We didn't hear the actual number, but it's under 12. And then some other groups that are being very aggressive, potentially being a minus minus 19 or 15. I can't remember if it's 15 or 19%, but that would require that we change provider networks. And so we're trying to get an insurance committee scheduled next week to study all of those proposals and make a determination as to what direction they want to go. So if the best case scenario, if we stay with Select Health and our current plan, is going to be close to a 12% insurance renewal, which is going to leave very, very little in the way of a COLA this year. So we have two things: the health insurance renewal and the legislative revenue updates that are going to drive this, and we're not going to know those for a little while here. So we don't know much. That's all we know really at this point. So, but I thought, it's important for you to at least understand what we're dealing with at this point. And so we're just kind of waiting to see what information we can get and glean from the legislature. And I think it's going to be more than one insurance committee to make the final decision as to what direction to go with our district health insurance. So that's where we are.
Rich, how long has the district been with Select Health?
The district had moved over to Select Health from EMI, I want to say probably 2 or 3 years, maybe even 4 years before I got here. And so that's probably been 13, 14 years that they've been directly with Select Health. Jen, you may know, or I don't know if you recall when they moved over. But
I just didn't know
something in that range.
I just didn't know if we've switched health insurances, quite frequently.
No, we haven't at all.
We've been with them for quite a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big number there though for that health insurance, but.
Yeah, it is. And unfortunately it happens to be this year, so.
Do we have any idea of where that bump came from? I thought in previous years we've been doing better about like using wisely and different things.
We have, in particular, we have 2 large ongoing claims.
That's what I wondered.
That has driven up that renewal rate. And we've continually had very high prescription costs. So in looking at those 2 scenarios, plus other claims, obviously, but 2 very high claims that are ongoing that have kind of driven that whole renewal rate.
Okay.
All right. Well, it's going to be a great budget year.
So more good news.
Anything else you have, Rich?
Oh,
Okay, Superintendent Covington for the school land trust funds. She is frozen in time.
Sorry, I'm having internet issues. Apparently, everybody is obviously using their Xfinity up here tonight where I live, but I apologize. I just gave the mandate in my house to unlock or to get off of everything anyone is on. So we'll see how it goes.
well, you look fantastic. So at least you got that going for you.
Thank you. So did you throw it over to me? I'm sorry, I did not hear.
I did.
Okay, thank you. So what I'd like to ask for any consideration or discussions of the 2020-2021 school land trust plans for our 10 schools. As you have read through them, if you have any questions or concerns or anything that we can address prior to asking for an approval of those plans.
Jen, I would assume that Heather will jump into park sides and be making some amendments when it gets over there.
Correct. She has access to the budget. She knows what the amount. She has spent time over there and she is working with Kay and they are actually already working on things so once amendments can be submitted, those will be done.
Great, because I know there's been some money not spent that has been awarded the last few years. So I'll be glad to have her eyes on it.
I read through Horizon and Viewmont, and I think everything's fine. Good schools, good ideas.
Jen, one question, a couple questions, and I know you addressed this in our last board meeting, so I apologize that this is a repeat, but because of most of our land trust funds are dealing with the rise and some of the end of year testing, how are we handling that? Will you kind of address that?
You bet. So I did talk to the land trust office right after assessments were suspended for this year and let them know that all of our councils had actually met with the exception of one school and approved their plans. And I said, do you need my councils to all meet again and change those things? She said no, because we have other measurements in there. And so we will just do the best that we can with those.
Okay. And then the other issue is I know we're going to have some carryover from this year because of how the year ended or halted. And we're fine to have those carryover numbers this year. I don't want to get the nasty emails every time.
We are, and I've also spoken with the land trust office about that. And they are aware that that 10% threshold is going to have to be softened for this year. The other thing is I've been working with our principals. Many of our principals are already figuring out how to best use that money for next year. So they are aware that we will need to take care of the excess that's carrying over from this year to next year through amendments once the 2021-21 school year starts. So.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll look forward to lots of amendments next year then. Any questions from the board members regarding their assigned trust land funds?
Well, I know Horizon and Viewmont both have quite a bit of money in transportation. And I just think that it will be awesome. They'll be able to have maybe more little times to get on a bus and go someplace next year. But no, I think that they will have extra money for a variety of things that they haven't been able to do with their students.
Thank you, Bo.
The only comment I did have, it was when I was reading through Grant, and I glanced at the other ones, I didn't go in depth, but it seems a lot of times we use our school land trust funds for different technology and uses, which I think is great. But just wanting to make sure that if we have the ability to, you know, if one school's using it and another school starts, there is some economy of scale there. So maybe trying somehow in the future to get a list of all the software that everybody's using, what works well between different elementaries instead of kind of recreating the wheel. And I'm sure Missy's probably doing that as she works with them, but just kind of leveraging that money as best we can to make sure we're using it in technology and software and hardware the best way we can.
And I think that's very valid, Cammie. Many of our principals, they do get together so that we can kind of reduce that cost and put things in. But yes, very much so. Between Missy and Jason, they've also been really good to cover many things out of technology or DLT budgets. So yes, but I think that's very valid. We could actually even provide, if the board wanted, a report of kind of who's using what to show it, to make sure we are being equitable across all schools. I think that might be a good thing to share.
Yeah, as long as it's being tracked and used, I think that's great. As long as we're taking a look at that. So. Okay, any questions? Then I will take a motion to approve the 2021 School Land Trust funds.
Glomero approves.
So I need a motion. So Glo,
Yeah, okay, Glo will do sorry. Glo moves that we adopt this.
okay, and a second.
Sharon Cooper, I second.
And any discussion? Then we'll take a vote to approve the School Land Trust funds, and we will start. I think Elizabeth might have disappeared.
I think she might have. She looks frozen.
I'm here.
Oh, she's
okay. Oh, there you are. You're up in the corner. Sorry. All right. So I'll take if you approve it, Elizabeth.
Elizabeth Payne votes yes.
Glo.
Glomero votes yes.
Belinda. Belinda is muted.
Oh, let me get her. Whoops. She's unmuted now.
Oh, Belinda Johnson, yes.
And Jaren.
Sharon Cooper, yes.
Okay, so those are approved.
Thank you. I will send those to the Land Trust administrators tomorrow. They are excited that we are getting them done so that they can get them approved. Our money coming towards us.
And Superintendent, do you have anything else that you need?
I would like to ask if the board members, as well as Assistant Superintendent Bushnell and Director Dean, could stay on. I have one short personnel issue just to make the board aware of, and that's all. So I would ask to go into a closed session for the purpose of personnel.
Okay, then I will.
Before we do that, could we do a just for the record, were there any public comments submitted?
Sorry. Did we have any public comments, Jennifer, or?
It would be Doug. Doug, did any?
I don't see any coming in, no.
Thank
All
you.
right. No public comment. Okay, we will go into closed session. I guess I do need to pull the board. Elizabeth?
Yes. Elizabeth
Hello?
Payne.
Yes.
Jaren?
Jaren says yes.
And Belinda?
Yes.
Okay, we will go into closed session.
Great. So if I could ask all the others, if you'll just end your meeting. Thank you so much, district office. Appreciate you. We'll see you on our Zoom in the morning. Okay.
So do you turn off the YouTube recording at this point as well?
Just one moment. I'm going to turn that off. And I need to stop the recording. Stop recording.